Hello, and today we will be playing Remember the Flowers. Going to start chapter 16 now. The next day in Resume, because we got paid yesterday, I took it upon myself to order some small kitchen appliances for our room. While the cafeteria has good food, I'm getting a little sick of being recognized because of my stupid collar. Now I can at least enjoy a quiet meal by myself from time to time or with Benji. I did have to install some shelves for extra storage, but it wasn't that difficult. Thankfully, there's just enough counter space for a mini fridge and a microwave. Since everything is fresh and empty, I figured it's time to go grocery shopping. I pull out my Axiom screen while walking out to text Vivian to see if she wants anything. As soon as I open the door, I'm greeted by someone familiar. Lance, I was just about to knock. Great. What do you want? It's my day off. Now, don't be testy. Are you free at the moment? No, I'm not. No, I'm going shopping. The shops will be open well into the evening. There's something I want you to see. Artemis chuckles to himself. Trust me, it's a sight you won't want to miss. Why? Can I go now? Artemis starts laughing and gives me a serious look. This is an order sport. It has to do with a team you'll be working with in the future. Fucking fine. Let's go. I got shit to do. Wonderful. To the underground elevators we go. Fuck me. Artemis takes me down a path of the bays I hadn't been to before. Anytime I try to ask where we're going, he shoots me down, telling me not to ruin the surprise. I swear this has to be the most convoluted way to travel. When we're finally in the elevator, Artemis speaks up. Should you ever get seriously injured while on a job, rest assured you'll be taken care of here. This is where we take care of our VIP patients, though it's been a while since we had to resort to extensive treatment. Artemis keeps snickering to himself. Just before we hit our destination, Artemis takes his Axiom screen out and materializes a pair of baskets. One for each of us. I can't wait to see the look on his face. Keep me in suspense, why don't you? How long do I have to stay? I honestly can't imagine living a life as dull as yours. I'll let you know when I start caring about what you think. Maybe you'll stop wasting your time. Oh, believe you me, watching you is never a waste of time. I let out a subdued growl, but don't have a chance to retaliate more as the bell dings and then the doors open. Artemis adjusts his collar before stepping into the hall, motioning for me to follow him. With the ground, I do as I'm told again. Unlike Vivian's section of the underground, this area seems a lot more normal. It reminds me of the hospital floors up above, though noticeably more quality. That's saying something considering how rich the upstairs look. They should be in room F, which is right down this hall. Artemis raises his Axiom up to a sensor in front of the door. After a short beat, the door slides open. The smell of seared flesh hits my nose rather quickly. An annoyed groan from inside follows soon after. Oh fuck, what the hell do you want, Weasel? Oh, come now, don't be like that, King. I come bearing gifts. Unless it includes your resignation letter, I'll pass. I have enough headaches as it is. Sir, please keep the door closed. Well, of course, come now, Lance. We walk into the rather spacious hospital room. 3 of the 8 beds are occupied with 4 nurses working. 2 of them are trying to take care of a giant rhino. They start to apply some kind of liquid to what I assume is all that's left of his left arm. He sucks in air through his teeth. Jesus fuck, be careful with that shit. My apologies, we're almost done. Artemis inhales deeply and then exhales heavily. Glad to see you're recovering well. Artemis, I really don't have the patience to deal with you right now. So you normally put up with me. I knew we had a good thing going. The rhino tries to sit up, but one nurse keeps him flat in the bed. A female hound is taking charge of the rhino's treatment. Is he the head nurse? Please remain still, Artemis. You should know better than to antagonize a fellow leader. Shit. Sorry, protocol slipped my mind for a moment. Artemis heads over to the rhino's bed. He places a basket on his chest. We got you some necessities for when you're discharged, along with those awful protein bars you're a fan of. They're tricky to open. Need a hand? I've never seen Artemis fail so hard at holding his laughter in. Maybe that's what he's going for. The rhino looks like he's seeing red, clenching his fist hard, enough for the veins in his one arm to bulge. Mr. Artemis! The nurse readies her hand, and then, to my surprise, smacks the weasel across his face. It sounded pretty hard. Much to her dismay, all it did was knock his head to the side a little. I could smell a hint of iron in the air. Artemis takes a thumb to the corner of his mouth and lets a trickle of blood. He's still smiling. As strong as ever, Serenity. Do accept my sincere apologies. If you keep on with your nonsense, I'll be forced to write a report. Don't forget, you can be held accountable just like the rest of us. Oh, I'm well aware of that, thank you. Then the nurse turns her attention to me. Maybe it's just because I'm on edge here, but I nearly jumped out of my skin. And you, speak, what business do you have here? He's with me. I'm here to introduce him to his soon-to-be boss. What? Him? The rhino looks me over. He scowls and waves me off. I already have a crew. And look what happened there. I was taken by surprise. I can see that's not all that was taken. I can see the nurse's hackles raise as he steps toward the weasel. He raises his hands in defense. Sorry. Won't happen again, promise. She hushed before getting back to work. So, Artemis's voice shifted to a more serious tone. Tell me what happened. She, we found a runaway by sheer dumb luck while roaming the streets. One thing led to another, and this is how we ended up. King uses his thumb to point behind him towards his team. Despite their better appearances, they're both sleeping soundly in their beds. Artemis clicks his tongue. I never expected you to lose a fight like that. Does Doyle know? Does he now? He already whipped me a new one earlier today. That sounds like him. He's always trying to show off his authority. I can't help but roll my eyes. Yeah, well, it wasn't unwarranted. You got myself and my crew killed. Probably got going to need a prosthetic to replace the arm I lost. Speaking of, how in the world did that happen? Artemis walks around to the rhino's left side to get a better look. He picks up a nearby clipboard, skimming through the report. I've never heard of a weapon that could cause damage quite like this, have you? Beats me. I wasn't paying attention. Before I knew it, there was a blinding blue light. Whatever that blast was, it went through my arm cleanly. The mechanic I spoke to earlier said he probably needed to clean a good chunk of it off. It's all dead at the end now. It was an accident. Don't know. It was a bit getting it back here. I'll tell you that. I can imagine. So, who was this runaway? Huh. You'll get a kick out of this. I'm sure I will. It was Cyrus Cantwell. Cyrus? Oh, do tell. Artemis looks in my direction, gauging my reactions. I step out to be included in this conversation. I'm curious to know what happened. Apparently, he's been hanging out with the resistance. We just stumbled upon them while at Go to Rec Room. Go to Rec Room, huh? That takes me back. We cornered him, but he had some tricks up his sleeve. A white tiger with black eyes joined up with him. I thought we could take them, no problem. And we did. I nearly choked that cat to death. I smirked. Then, bam. King raises his thumb. I didn't have time to finish the job, let alone capture Cyrus. I just took my man and ran. That's certainly not your style. Fuck off. I'm kicking myself just thinking about it. The rhino locks eyes with me before repositioning himself. What's this about? A new team member? As luck would have it, Mr. Krager spent a considerable amount of time with Cyrus Cantwell. Is that right? Indeed, in fact, he was the one who originally found him after he escaped. Unfortunately, we weren't able to complete the transfer. Regardless, Mr. Krager should have a wealth of knowledge in regards to Cyrus. I wouldn't say that. We weren't together for very long. Longer than most people in this day and age, I'm sure you'll be very useful in our attempts to recapture him. I go. Alright then, let's hear it. What have you got for us, huh? Lance. My name is Lance. That's a sharp name. I like it. So Lance, the floor is yours. what the fuck am I even doing? When I first met him, he had real bad amnesia. I took advantage of it so I could pass him off without much incident, which I kind of regret now. He was feeble and annoying, but he had a lot of knowledge about the world before the fall. Feeble, huh? Why don't you take a look at my man behind me? That was his doing, and you call this feeble? Really? He must be training. I wager he's going to join the resistance if he hasn't already. It would pose a very real threat if he were to ever regain his memories. That is why I suggest you work with King. You were around Cyrus long enough to memorize his scent, right? I guess it's been a little while, though. These old bandages still have his blood on them. Shouldn't be too difficult. Wait, what am I doing? Am I really agreeing to work to capture Cyrus? That would be pretty damn useful. We can put that nose of yours to work. You just have to get close enough for it to matter. Which is why, for the time being, I'm going to have Lance do reconnaissance throughout the nation. Who knows, maybe he'll find something. Meaning, your current job duties are to travel and try to pick up his scent. Don't worry about any admin work. We'll be fine on the front. As a former member of the resistance, you could pick up on your old teammates' scents too. Another runaway, huh? Glad to have you then. Once I get my new arms situated, we can go bust some heads together. Not until you finish your therapy, sir. Yeah. What's in it for me? Pardon? I didn't agree to this, or anything you ever said. Why should I do this? You want to know what you'll be paid with. Oliver holds his chin with a paw as he thinks. His serious look fades back into a smile. Unfortunately, that isn't up to me, but I'm sure you'll be rewarded handsomely for capturing our number one target. I bite my lip. I'll think about it. The weasel chuckles, as if you have a choice. Do get along with your new team, Mr. Krager. I know you don't have the best track record on that front. Oliver takes that as his cue to leave. Of course, internally to myself, scowling. King catches my attention. So, you got anything good in that basket too? I actually do want some more snacks, but you know. The rhino raises his stump. I completely forgot he was holding on to this thing. The handle is a bit crushed now. Guess I was gripping it too hard earlier. The name is King, by the way. King Stone. Unlike that piece of shit weasel, I try to at least be somewhat agreeable with the people I work with. That's already a huge improvement. The name is Lance. Lance Krager. Nice to meet you, Lance. So how about it? Think you'll want to work with us? To capture Cyrus? I took my Arcadia color. I'm considering it, boy. So you're telling me Cyrus did this to you, really? Sure did, why? I just didn't think he had it in him. He was a wimp the last time I saw him. Huh, well, it's true that he got a leg up on me. Then points to his new stump. And then some. I give him this. When push came to shove, he went for the kill. King points to a small dent in his neck, just above his Arcadia collar. If it were anywhere else, he'd have gone straight through with his knife. Wow. I don't really know what to think about that. I'm glad he grew a backbone, but that'll make it harder for me to capture him. He only got me like he did because I was distracted. You should see the safe the other guy was in. Well, I'd love to. There's a knock at the door. You're kidding me. How many visitors were you expecting today? Get off my back. I'm a busy guy. It's probably the mechanic I called. Honestly. Serenity goes to open the door. As soon as he does, she straightens up and salutes. Good afternoon, sir. To what pleasure do I owe you this afternoon? I hear the voice of someone I've never heard before. I ain't easy, soldier. Relax, it's nothing special. A human walks in. His attire reminds me of Artemis's. Does he really need to wear a coat like that all the way down here? He flashes a smile my way before moving past me. Wait, something about him is familiar. I've seen this man before. Good afternoon, Lieutenant Dario. Dario? The descendant of Darius? He's here? If I was still with the resistance, I could just finish their work for them. Lying. Artemis wasn't lying. You're quick to scare, Lance Krager. I go up and lay my ears back. What the hell did Artemis tell the cycle? I'm sure he embellished a tad. You know how he is. I thought it would get a good look at you myself. I look at King. He shakes his head. Well, Dario reaches into his pocket and then hands me something. It looks like a letter, at least. I think it is. I've never received one before. I know it's old-fashioned, but I had to deliver this to you personally. From my father. Dario's still smiling, but my heart drops. I don't understand. You're in luck, Lance. It's not every day my father requests an audience with workers. Nevertheless, attendance is mandatory. See to it you make this meeting your top priority. Should you miss it, you will be executed on the spot. You are also not allowed to return to the surface without proper supervision until he deems you worthy. I'm sure you understand. Dario pulls out a remote control with his free hand. It looks similar to the one that Artemis had when we were in the car. I know we just met, but I wanted to give you some advice. Artemis only plays with his toys. I break them. Dario casually extends the letter towards me. My paw's sake as I take it from this sly human. I'm not breathing. I'm too stunned to even try it. There's a good boy. I love when you folks know your place. I'll see you later this week, Lance. Try not to get yourself killed in the meantime. As quickly as he came, the human walks right out the door. Everyone in the room is stunned. I have to remind myself to breathe. When I do, I struggle. Damn, I beat it already? Huh. What the fuck was that? Take it easy, you're fine. Are you serious? Do you know what that man is capable of? Better than anyone. I guess you have a different perspective. You're damn right I do. Do you know how many of his men I've had to fight? That explains the scars on your face. Guess you're not all bite. Not coming so out of left field for me that I don't process it right away. When I do, I bare my teeth. You don't know anything about me, what I've been through. Spare me the details, Fido. The bottom line is that you can't turn down that invitation. You think I don't already know that? I grab my Arcadia collar. It's all because of this thing that I'm stuck here. Careful, it'll sock you if you tug it. I'm sure it will. Will you quit your whining already? It's getting embarrassing. King stares into my eyes. Fuck, this isn't me. I can get out of any situation, I always do. I just need to think about this rationally. When can I get out of this ordeal? I think back to Dario. It's right here. It reminds me of Cyrus. What's that? If finding Cyrus means getting you and that weasel off my back, then I'm ready to get this over with. Huh. Sounds good to me. I don't have any need for brats on my team. Get moving, Wolf. I look over the letter in my palm. Using a claw, I put the letter over the top open. Inside is an ornate piece of paper along with a metallic key card. There's a time and date, 5 days from now. There's plenty of time to think of a game plan to bust out of this joint. It's been a week since we were rescued from Golden Requiem. I wasn't as bad off as I initially thought, but I'm still being held for treatment. Due to the extent of my injury, I had to ask for a reschedule for my meeting with Titania. Crystal informed her of the situation, and luckily Titania was more than willing to oblige, considering the circumstances, but she couldn't give me a concrete rescheduled date. I hope she doesn't back out. Crystal said she would keep in touch until then. Anyway, I've been stuck in Vita's apartment while I've been recovering. They're as intense as ever. I need you to keep still while I feed you. I won't but do as I'm told. My throat was pretty badly bruised because my encounter with King, but it's gotten better. I can't eat solid foods just yet, but at least I can still eat something. The tubes going in my stomach before were a fun experience. Vita spoon feeds me some medicine. Bleh. You're making good progress, but you still shouldn't eat solid foods for another day or so. On another note, it appears your stay here won't be much longer. I let out a sigh of relief. Thank God. Not that I haven't enjoyed our time together, but I'd love to not be confined to another room again. Rita chuckles. Not so fast, sighs Cantwell. There's something more we need to discuss. While running tests on your heart, I noticed there was extensive damage. I can only assume this has to do with your fight the other day. Oh, that doesn't surprise me, I guess. Please explain to me what you mean. I felt in Vita on how, in my panic, I had to use my perception ability much more than I was used to. Vita's expression changes from curiosity to worry. They close their eyes and appear as if they're trying to tell me something. This isn't the kind of news I'd like to deliver, but from what I saw, this could impact your remaining lifespan. Do not forget, your artificial heart is like a battery. Like any battery, overuse can drastically diminish its longevity. I'm sorry to say this, but you may have knocked a couple of years off of your life as a result. That was something I was afraid of. It was not an ideal situation, but you did what you had to do to survive. Promise me you will be more careful in the future. That will seriously reconsider joining the resistance. You know I can't do that, Vita. I've already made up my mind about this. There's no living a peaceful life in a world where I'm always hiding, and that doesn't just apply to me. I cannot argue with that, but I appreciate it and everything you've done for me. Think nothing of it. Rub my tender neck. I can feel the medicine doing its job. It's a strange but soothing feeling like none other. How's Aaron? He's doing fine. Last I heard, he's a little shaken up, though. Can I see him? Maybe in a couple of days. You must take care of yourself, too. I think I could manage it. Honestly, your inability to feel pain seems more detrimental than useful. You broke a few ribs, amongst other things. If you move around too much, you could reopen old wounds without realizing it. Please just rest for once in your long life. I don't have a response for that. I've never been one to sit still, after all. I think back to that day at the black market. I've had an uneasy feeling since then. Why did Aaron leave me alone? What was the intel he was trying to get? Was it really so important that I had to be left behind? I seem to be mad, but I'm more worried than anything. Wait, should I be mad? I've been doing all this training to deal with situations like these. You might have gotten hurt, but my first real fight went pretty well, all things considered, right? No, I don't know. I don't think others will see it that way. If I look at it any other way, Aaron screwed up big time. I still haven't told anyone what really went down. Before I can continue with my thoughts, Vita's doors open. A familiar heartbeat struts in. Sup, Cyrus. I see you still look like hell. I probably feel like it too, but I wouldn't know. Heh, even so, you look better than I thought you would. I do have a great doctor taking care of me. Flattery will not get you discharged faster. And you and I both know we're not doctors. Maybe we should go to school and study together. Funny. I'll go brew us some tea since we have a sudden guest. Kendall comes over to sit at the end of my bed. Silver says he'll come see you when he gets back from his current mission. Kendall sighs. As soon as he brought you here, he was out the door in a hurry. That sounds like him. It really does. So, how was your first proper fight? Was it everything you thought it would be? I sit back in my bed to recount the events leading up to my stay. It was nothing I would ever experience before. It lasted an eternity, but also felt incredibly quick, which doesn't make sense when I say it out loud. Were you scared? To an extent, cautious might be the better word. What did scare me was seeing Aaron like that. I've never seen him so beat up before. I thought Kim was pulling my leg when she called me. I went to see him earlier, but he was asleep. It's not much, but he looked peaceful while sleeping. That's good. I know he has a hard time sleeping in general. He needs a good rest. Such a hypocrite. Vita carries a tray of teacups to both of us. Thank you. Remember to sip it to not aggravate my throat. So you don't take some things I say to heart. Vita, relax, I'm joking. Could have fooled me. I feel like I'm studying for another doctorate with how much I've been lectured today. I can imagine staying here along with Vita sounds worse than any fight. The dragon chuckles. What do you want, pussycat? Hey, don't call me. Visiting hours are almost done. Chop chop. It's 2 in the afternoon, and since when do you have visiting hours? Since my current visitor started getting on my nerves. Kanto takes out his inventory sphere. Then I'll keep this short. Kanto types away on the screen. Silver and Karen filled me in on what happened when they found you. The only thing is, they didn't see exactly how things went down. Kanto takes out another axiom from his screen. The port is crackling with sapphire blue light. What did you do back there, Cyrus? Can you be more specific? Kanto swipes on the screen of the axiom he pulled out. The screen is distorted as hell. This was recovered from the severed arm they found back in the alley. The cleanup crew squared away most of the evidence you guys left behind. They almost threw this away in the process. This is a well-known fact that axioms can't be hacked. Or so we thought. The cleanup crew scrubbed away most of the evidence you guys left behind. They almost threw this away in the process. This is well-known fact that axioms can't be hacked. Kanto tries to navigate the screen. He's able to move between screens, but it's difficult to read anything. I do see a familiar face, King's, to be more specific. That's King. He was the one we fought. Which is why I need you to tell me what happened. I'm not sure how you did it, but anyone can access this axiom now. With enough time, I bet I could even dig into his personal files, maybe even the inventory. I take a sip of the tea before clearing my throat. Well, it wasn't on purpose, I'll tell you that. I give Kanto the rundown about my experience with the lodestar bullet I fired. It wasn't really what I expected. I did it out of desperation. Kanto places King's oversized axiom down on the bed before pulling something else out from his inventory. It's my new gun. This was a weapon that fired it, right? I nodded. I'm pretty sure it's new weaponry that Resin is cooking up. That's what the dealer told me. You can put whatever you want in the chamber. The gun adjusts itself to accommodate the output. And you fired an actual lodestar with this. I didn't even know you had one. You know, the dealer said it was striped from transit on its way to Tensia. I see. Sellers, do you mind if I keep this gun for a while? Fine. I'm going to see if we can produce it. We store lodestars down here too. We can replicate what you did, or even refine it. We could end this war with Resin once and for all. I'm not sure I follow. Information is power, Cyrus. If we can get enough accents, we could reveal to the world exactly how wisdom operates. Kind of lifts up King's axiom again. This is going to be a delicate process. If I screw up, it could set us back a decade. You and I both know we don't have that long. You're telling me. Kato stands up from my hospital bed. I write up an official report, but since I'm such a nice guy, I'm going to slap your name on it so you can give it to her yourself. Huh? I didn't exactly discover it. It was by accident. Accident or not, we wouldn't have found it without you. Other than escaping, you don't have much to your name. You have a meeting with Titania soon, don't you? Take the win. Use this to your advantage. Don't worry, I don't mind giving this to you. You've been a great help. Kanto stuffs the gun and King's axiom back into his own screen. Hold on. You're not leaving, are you? So what if I am? I need you to babysit Silas Cantrell for a couple of hours. Excuse me? I have errands to run and things to buy. So order them on your axiom. I always want to stretch my legs and take my own advice. I need a break. Seriously. I think I'll be fine on my own. I know you're going to try to leave the second I walk out that door. Yeah. I won't be gone long. A couple hours isn't exactly a short period of time. I have some board games you two can play while I'm gone. That's not the point. I have things to do. I'll tell the fox that you abandoned Cyrus in his time of need. Kanto bites his tongue. I chime in to save the hybrid from himself. Actually, I have something I wanted you to look at for me. I got some old tech. I wanted to see if you could fix it. Like what? I'll be off then. Have fun, you two. But wait! Before the dragon could stop Vita, they exit and close the door. Fucking, yeah. Sorry you got Volt to do this. It's whatever. Kanto plops back down on the hospital bed, pouting a bit. Well, what did you want me to look at? I open my axiom screen and take out the game consoles Dad left for me. My dad left these for me before the fall. I tried turning them on, but I think the batteries are dead. One of them can be recharged, but I'm worried they won't be able to handle the voltage of today's time. Kanto extends a paw. I place both of them in his palm. They look a lot smaller when he's holding them. His annoyed attitude starts to melt away as he inspects the consoles. Huh? I've never seen something like this before. Probably the last ones in existence. No kidding. Do you mind if I open them up? That makes me apprehensive. Don't worry, I'm sure I can put them back together. I just need to know what I'm working with. I bring my knees up to my chest. Alright, just be careful. They don't call me a pussycat for nothing, you know? I took her that. Fair enough. Oh, and there's one more thing. I opened my axiom screen one more time and take out the gun Lance gave me forever ago. As you are most likely aware, my memory isn't what it used to be. I remember this. Need me to unlock it finally? Might as well, right? An extra weapon in my arsenal wouldn't hurt. Sorry for giving you this extra work suddenly. And right after I offer you free services too. Wow. Kondo chuckles and gives me a thumbs up. I'm kidding. Don't worry about it. I got this. And now, my memories from the days I spent with that wolf can be so fuzzy at times. Whenever I got my memories back, it felt like my brain just shoved a whole week into the back of my mind. It's strange, but that's how it is. I can only really remember the very end of it when everyone was being hospitable to me. So many things have changed since then, huh? I guess anything before that wasn't that important anyway. The next hour and a half goes by in comfortable silence. Kondo is sitting at Vita's desk, meticulously taking apart the console with two screens. I try to fill it with a single screen gaming system, though without power there's not much I can do with it. The only breaks Kanto chuckles and then I move. Kanto chuckles and gives me a thumbs up. I'm kidding, don't worry about it. I got this. I nod, my memories from the days I spent with that wolf could be so fuzzy at times. Whenever I got my memories back, it felt like my brain just shoved that whole week into the back of my mind. It's strange, but that's how it is. I can only really remember the very end of it, when everyone was being hospitable to me. So many things have changed since then, huh? I guess anything before that wasn't that important anyway. The next hour and a half goes by in comfortable silence. Kato is now sitting at Vita's desk, meticulously taking apart the console with two screens. I tried to fiddle with the single screen gaming system, though without power there's not much I could do with it. He only breaks concentration to occasionally ask me something, mainly about my past. I let him know that my dad used to play a lot of games and he collected them for a good while. I wasn't super into them. In all honesty, I was more interested in creating music. Even now, I regret not spending more time with them. Kanto finally gets all the pieces sorted on the desk and then stands up to stretch. It takes all of my energy to not say, big stretch. Well, I think I've disassembled it all. I think you're right. This thing most by being plugged into the power sources we have now. That being said, I bet I could engineer an adapter for it. How long do you think that will take? I'd say a week tops. It doesn't seem that complicated. Well, how much would I owe you? Right, like you can't afford my services. Carlo smirks. It's fine. I'm getting the chance to work with Agent Ted that's paid me enough. He puffs his chest out proudly. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. No way I could turn this down. Pay me or not. Still, shut up. I said it's fine. I was going to do it even if you didn't ask. Now pipe down. I'm going to try to put it back together. Sure, yes, sir. While Kanto is working again, I start going through my accent. I see a message from Silver. Mission taking longer than I thought. I'll see you in a few days. Rest up. Getting out of service. Don't expect anything from you till then. Good luck. Message not sent. So, do you mind if I ask you something? You just did, but go ahead. How are you and Silver, doing? Kato stops what he's doing and doesn't respond right away. I regret asking almost immediately. If I couldn't get Silver to talk, why did I think that Kato would? Things could be better, I just don't know how to get there. Why do you ask? I haven't known both of you very long, but just about everyone's reactions, it looks like y'all are in a rough patch. It's been like this for a long time. Do you want to talk about it? There's not much to talk about. Silver doesn't trust me enough to confide in me. There's not much I can do about it. He loves you. Don't say things like that. Why not? I've seen how easily he opens up to you. I go. I'll be honest. When I heard he was moving in with you, it set me off more than I thought it would. But when I calmed down, I came to the realization that we're probably not going to last much longer. I've come to accept it. You still love him though, right? Kanto doesn't say anything. I pause trying to think what to say to him. Hey, do you remember the surprise party a few months ago? That was the first time I saw you and Silver together. I've never seen you smile like that before, or since, and the way you dote on him is very sweet. Kanto remains silent and fixes his eyes to the ground. The benefit of being his roommate is that I picked up on what his moods look like. He missed you for sure. Since that day, I've never seen him look so genuinely happy. I'm not a relationship expert, but I don't know. I think y'all have something special. Oh yeah, someone's an optimist today. He says in his usual sarcastic tone, just take a look around, the world's gonna sit. But you're both still trying to make a relationship work. Hell, look at Silver, he's out there risking his life as we speak. Sounds like him. He can be annoyingly stubborn, but we both know that. I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though he's been distant, I don't think he's trying to hurt you on purpose. That doesn't make it any easier. I get that. But I just know he appreciates you being there for him when he needs you. I just wish he needed me more, you know? Yeah, I do. Sounds like someone else I know. What do you mean? Let's face it, Sarge. You're the walking definition of a martyr. Even now, you're trying to make me feel better or something that's not even your fault. Conto sighs and crosses his arms. Damn it, you're making this harder for me. You know that? It's over. I've already accepted that. Trust me, I wanted to make it work, but it's not happening. You say that, but why haven't you broken up with him then? The dragon is surprised by my question. I don't know. Maybe I'm waiting for something. He looks away from me when he responds, as if dodging the question. It's not like I want this to be over, but is Silver even trying? He just keeps leaving me in the dark. I sigh in defeat. Kanto is right. He has every reason to be upset. You're not wrong. I get set down every time I bring it up with him, too. Kanto groans and rests his chin on his palm. Anyway, thank you for trying to talk to him. Kanto looks a bit embarrassed and scratches his head. I know I can kind of be a dick sometimes, and maybe we got off on the wrong foot, but maybe you're a cool guy, so that's all. I'm sorry if it seemed like I was taking my anger out on you specifically. I think part of me actually was. So I'm sorry for how I acted. That's okay, I understand. I never took it personally. Regardless, I'm sorry. I appreciate you talking with me. Carter takes a moment to collect himself and then whispers something under his breath. I just wanted to know what's going on with him, that's all. Sorry, just talking to myself. I see. Well, thanks for keeping me company. Of course. Listen, Silver really wants to make it work. He needs to talk to me. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'll hear him out if he's ready. How's that sound? It doesn't hurt to try, right? Kanto nods and crosses his arms, looking lost in thought. It's been a while since I've given relationship advice, but I hope I did okay. Kanto's smiling. I think he's really going to try to make it work. I hope that they can. After all is said and done, Kanto clears his throat. Anyway, where the fuck is Vita? This should have been bad by now. The door slides open, revealing Vita in their casual outfit. Sorry about the wait. There was a good sale in town. How's going to the surface treating you? It's still a little nerve-wracking. I'm glad I had someone add as a bodyguard for me. Who? Boo! The hyena jumps from the doorframe. Only Kanto jumps. Jesus fuck. Gotcha. Ken walks in with a couple of bags to plop on my bed. Hey, Yasai. You feeling okay? So, but I can't complain. What's it got there? Since the gym is off limits for you, I thought I would get you some healthy food to eat while you recover. I've already told her that you can't eat solid food for a little while longer. Which is why I'm going to blend it all up. I'll go. Thanks, Karen. That sounds wonderful. Anything for fun. Karen rummaged in her bag. Speaking of, I got something for you to do so you're not bored out of your skull. She tosses something small to me. It's a brace. It'll help improve your grip strength. Oh, nice. I need something to visit with. My ADHD has been going crazy while I'm sitting in bed with barely anything to do. If you don't need my services anymore, I'll be on my way. Yes, thank you very much. Same, thanks again. Don't miss it. When Cyrus gets getting discharged within the next week. Sounds good. I'll be around in the meanwhile. Kato takes his ponytail out and heads to the door. Let me know if you need anything, Cyrus. Sure, thanks. As Kato exits, Karen looks at me with confusion. Since when are you two all so buddy-buddy? I swear. Give him some credit, he's not that bad. Oh, I know, he's just a bit of a dick sometimes. That's what makes him endearing. Whatever you say, he turns toward Vita. Need anything else while I'm here? Not particularly. Thank you for your help. I'll perform your next maintenance free of charge. Sweet, see you later. See you both later then. Gotta get back to the gym. Without even a chance to reply, she runs out of the room. I can hear Vita quietly chuckle in the corner as they prepare another pot of tea. It makes me happy to see them enjoy themselves. Another cup, sighs Cantrell. I'd love to, thank you. The next couple of days are uneventful. I'm finally able to eat solid foods on my own again. Karen and Kanto checked up on me frequently and kept me company. When it's just me and Vita, I let them work on whatever the project they are in the middle instead of chatting. True to the alcoholic I am, I started reviewing the report Kanto sent me and began filling it with more of my own intel. I haven't forgotten about my meeting with Titania, and now I have some relevant information to share with her. I haven't heard from Crystal in a while, and I'm getting a little antsy waiting for a follow-up. That's until she surprises me with a visit. My, you suddenly bounced back quickly. Helps I have a skilled doctor taking care of me. I can hear Vita groan in the background. This is true. Vita has been in our care for a long time, and has in turn taken care of many victims from Resume. Crystal pulls up a chair to sit next to my bed. I am unfortunately a very busy woman, and if a broadcast starting in an hour, I'll have to attend, so I cut to the chase. Do you still want to meet with Titania? I cut her off. Yes. Really now? You're not scared? I'm terrified. I'm well aware of how lucky I was, but even so. Want to help in any way I can. It's as simple as that. If only it was. Crystal takes out her Axiom and starts to type on the screen. Regardless, it's your choice to make. We won't force you to live your life in secrecy. That being said, are you prepared to throw yourself back into hell? With all due respect, ma'am, that's been my reality for the past few centuries. I'll be fine. Use me as a soldier I know I can be. I stare into her eyes with determination. Crystal is the first to break eye contact. She turns back to her Axiom to type some more before swiping the screen away. Your meeting with Titania will be in 3 days at 10 a.m. sharp. I message you where our meeting will be. I look forward to it. I pull up my Axiom screen. I'm already have my report ready to go. Is that right? Mind giving little old me a preview? Sorry, it's a secret, you'll see. Can't blame a reporter for trying to get the scoop first. Crystal stands up from her chair, her heels clack as she heads towards the door. I look forward to seeing the results, Cyrus. Likewise. She gives me a nod before she exits. Rita gets up from their desk to hand me a cup of tea. With that out of the way, you're free to leave. You think so? It's mainly for my own sanity. I'm getting tired of the constant noise. Fair enough. Can I finish this cup of tea first? Yes, leave it on the table when you're done. Rita pats a bag at their hip. I'm heading to the garden to do some work. If you need me, don't. Hear you loud and clear. I smile, Vita. Have a good day, Cyrus Cantrell, and take care of yourself, please. I raise my cup to them. You do the same. Thank you again for taking care of me. Don't mention it. and that Vita also takes their leave. I stare at my reflection in the tea. It's going to be an exciting next few days. My tapping foot is the only sound I can hear in the hallway. Visiting, I check the time. It's 9:55. Crystal will be here at any moment. It's been a while since I presented anything. This is more stressful than when I spoke in front of the board for my doctorate. I didn't sleep much last night. I was both anxious and excited. I rehearsed my pitch well into the night, to the point that Silver made it home before I went to bed. At 2 in the morning, I went over everything with him. I felt kind of bad since I could tell he was tired, but he insisted that I give him the rundown. He said that it's a toss-up over whether they'll employ me or not. I'm too valuable of an asset. I'm flipping my action to go over all of my notes again. My concentration breaks upon hearing a pair of heels clicking down the hall. I take a deep breath before straightening up. Good morning, Crystal. Good morning, Cyrus. How are you feeling? Wendy. That's what I like to hear in the morning. Crystal extends a briefcase that she's carrying. Do you mind holding on to this for a moment? I have the punch and the numbers. Oh, sure, no problem. I take it before moving out of the way of the elevator. She keeps in the numbers for an extended period of time. When I think she's done, she swipes a card next to the number pad, then she scans her eye. Something dings and then Crystal holds her paw out. Thank you for waiting. We're going to the lowest part of the base. You'll need to accompany me the whole way in and out, classify information, all that jazz. With both hands to hold out her briefcase. Glad to see I'm no stranger to that. Crystal takes the briefcase with her right paw. I figured as much. The elevator door opens. Crystal directs me inside. After you gets the honor. I can't tell if she's teasing me or being serious. Regardless, I walk with confidence into the elevator. Once inside, Crystal punches in another set of doors into the screen. The doors slowly shut, and then we begin our descent. We're already pretty far underground, so I can't imagine it will take long to get there. Say, Crystal, can I ask you something? What is it? Did Titania build it underground herself? Crystal raises a brow before smiling. Curious, are you? Kind of, it's funny. I've heard Titania's name thrown around a lot since I relocated down here, but I know next to nothing about her. That's the way she wanted it. Even Vita's left the base more than she has. For a moment, Crystal's smile wavers. She's taken the necessary precautions to make sure that she and her organization never fall into the wrong hands. It might seem like we've made little progress over the past 100 years on the outside, but that's the price we pay for secrecy. To answer your question, she inherited the resistance from her father, but she helped make it into what it is today. She's been fighting a silent battle for as long as I can remember. That's part of the reason why I was so drawn to her. Crystal clutches her right hand, and she won't stop fighting until she can change this world. I want to make sure she can achieve that. You on TV and her in the saddles? You got it. And let me just say, it is very entertaining to see Resin's PR scramble whenever a controversy hits. They sweep it under the rug every time, and the cracks are already started to show. Crystal snaps and then points at me. You being here is crystal clear proof of that. With enough pushback, Resin could crumble very, very soon. Theos deserves nothing less, but I've been thinking about what happens once we win. Resin was a horrible organization, but even I can't deny that they've done a lot of good for people. Lots of people will lose access to healthcare and essential treatments. Don't you worry about that. We've already taken steps to prevent a total collapse. While the transition will be rough and there's no guarantee that our plans will work, we're going to divert the funds for the resistance to a new public healthcare system. Damn, thought of everything heavy. We've had a lot of time to prepare, Silas. We're here. I cracked my knuckles before slapping my face a couple of times to psyche myself up. Phew, alright, let's do this. I like that initiative. You're going to do just fine. The door is open to reveal a narrow hallway. There's a giant door at the end of it, similar to bank vaults. Precautions indeed. Crystal heads over to yet another panel to open a door for me. My artificial heart beats a little faster. I'm prepared. I know I am. Even so, I've heard so much about the favorite leader of the resistance. I had to give her the respect that she deserves. A loud click echoes in the hall. The door has been unlocked. I gulp as I force my heart to calm down. Crystal slowly pulls the giant metal barrier open. Behind it is a much smaller door. It's ornate and looks like it's made of wood with a shiny gold handle. Phew, that never gets any easier. The pink fox checks to make sure she didn't break a nail before presenting the door to me. Well, child, she's expecting you. Yes, ma'am. I quickly walk out to her and then grab the doorknob. Let's do this. I close my eyes as I open the door. The first thing I experience is how nice it smells. Opening my eyes, I met with an oddly familiar sight. Titania's office is very reminiscent of fancy rooms back in my time. It's like the study of someone who isn't powerful, which is fitting, I guess. The pants thrown about definitely make it look more comfortable to stay in. Ah, there you are. The sound of paper stacking catches me by surprise. Going to be Titania is filing papers in an old-school filing cabinet. She has her back towards us. Crystal walks past me to greet her. Hon, I know you're still not fiddling with those reports again. I just know there's something missing here that could help us turn the tide. I'm close to a breakthrough. I know it. You'll be happy to hear what Cyrus has brought to the table, Titania. Titania turns around to meet my gaze. She looks tired but determined. Do forgive me. I lost track of time. Titania smiles at me before setting her papers down. Both she and Crystal make their way toward the big wooden desk in the center of the room. I stare at her as she moves. So this is Titania, huh? Come have a seat. We have much to talk about. I couldn't agree more. With vigor, I walk to take a seat in front of Titania. Sitting up straight, I look her directly in the eye. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to meet you. Likewise, it's nice to finally meet you in person, Cyrus. I've heard so much about you. Not too much, I hope. I am a pretty private person, after all. Oh, no, not you, as in you. Sorry, I misspoke. Aaron let me know a little about your role as a leader, is all. Is that so? Finally being face to face with the resistance leader already has me nervous. Titania chuckles and waves her hand at me. Come now, no need to be so serious. Think of this like you would any other job interview. Oh, but I am, considering the last job I had was working for Current. No resume. I take anything I sign up for very seriously. Fair enough. You seem in pretty high spirits considering your latest encounter. You take hard sips with great strides. Oh, thank you, ma'am. But let's get down to business, shall we? She holds out a hand. Crystal promptly hands me her papers that she then begins to look over. I've been told you want to join the front lines. Besides passing our military courses, I have no objections to this. However, is this something you're truly interested in, despite knowing the dangers that lay ahead? Absolutely. It's the only thing I'm going to have a chance to break into Resum and finally take down Darius once and for all. Titania gauges my emotions. Am I being too forward, too rash? Very straight to the point. It's a sentiment we all share, isn't it? Considering what you've been through all these years, I'm honestly in disbelief you have that kind of motivation. I see some real fire in your eyes. Titania flips through a few pages. You get this intel. What do you think? Yours truly, of course. So I assume you have access to Resum's records? Bits and pieces, why do you ask? I take out my axiom. While I might be on subjective experiences, I haven't forgotten my time in Resum. It's burned to my mind at this point. Throughout the past few days, I've been logging anything I could remember about how things operated. Not to doubt the validity of your claims, but how can we be sure your information is still relevant? It's been hundreds of years since you were there. You asked me about Darius, right? The first thing I'll tell you is that he's a perfectionist. He will never admit that he's in the wrong. He's stubborn like that. I seriously doubt he would change his way of operations just because of me. I sent my report over to Crystal, including all of the experiences I've amassed over the past few centuries. It didn't take long to find out what kind of person he is. He's selfish, arrogant, and dangerous. If he thinks he's in the right, he'll stop at nothing to complete his goals. Crystal's axiom beeps. She looks at Titania. Titania nods. If you'll excuse me, I'd like to go over all this information. By all means. Crystal bows before moving to a desk in the corner. The vampire Resum. That's how people refer to him, even those that don't know the inner workings of the company. He's ruthless and fully believes he should be leading this broken country. To be blunt, he's a megalomaniac. He thinks he's above everything and everyone who's ever lived. The only reason he got into the medical field was so that he could play God, save lives, and profit from them. I take a deep breath. Sorry I got carried away. Don't be. You should have been wanting to get that off your chest for a long time. This might be a formal meeting, but I understand needing an outlet after all those centuries. But let's not prattle on too much about the man's character. With how he operates Resum, I could figure that much on my own. Titania chuckles. It's just frustrating. I pinched the bridge of my nose before sitting up straight. I forgot who I was talking to for a moment. Anyway, I have more than enough resolve to see your goal through. Do you know what my goal is? That catches me off guard. To take Resum down? That's part of it, yes. Crystal returns. I guess she's finished going over my report. She hands Titania some first papers. I'm going to keep going over Cyrus's notes, but he's left us with a lot of good information, including how to use lodestars to our advantage. Lodestars, that's a surprise. What is it that you found, Cyrus? Permission to take a weapon out from my axiom? Granted. I take out the prototype gun that Scrap stole me back in Golden Rec Room, along with King's axiom. So this is how you shot off King's arm. You sound familiar with him. I interviewed him once. I could tell he was a member of the faction, so I tried getting his face out there. Crystal shrugs. The brute sued me off before I could get a word in, but we have records of work. Just getting footage of him was enough for me at the time. But that's neither here nor there. From what I read, you were able to access the data in his axiom. Is that really true? It is. It's corrupted, but Kanto was able to use it like any other axiom. I slide open the screen of King's axiom. I saw his arm with a bullet made from a lodestar. Kanto says that caused it to overload. Does the Resistance have any spare lodestars? My pitch is that, given enough, we could extract data from countless axioms while on the front line. Titania takes King's axiom into her own hands. She slides through the fuzzy pages. We never bothered keeping lodestars outside of trading. We're not in the market to manufacture that kind of machinery. I never would have believed that there is a way to break into an axiom. She sounds genuinely impressed as she fiddles with the oversized machine. That brings me to my next point. Here it is, what I've been waiting for. I would like to volunteer to go out into the field and collect lodestars en masse. I have some fighting experience, but I must admit, it's not my forte and is mainly for the self-defense. However, what I lack in brute force, I make up for it in speed. Thanks to Silver, Titania and Crystal exchange looks for an extended period of time before they both smile. I wish I had courage like you, Silas. Very well, I approve of your adventure. I have 4 conditions, one of which I'll leave to your judgment. What are they? As far as we know, this is the first time an axiom has been overloaded like this. Therefore, I would like to move quickly and attain as many lodestars as possible. This may seem sudden, but you'll find that I don't like to waste time. Titania holds up her hand, raising her index finger. As such, I want you to embark on your first mission in 2 weeks' time. You will have 6 months to collect as many lodestars as you possibly can, along with any other intel you may stumble upon. During those 6 months, you are not to have contact with anyone within their existence outside specific secure waypoints. Now that we know that axioms have the potential to be hacked into, it'll be too dangerous to use them to send sensitive information. We'll have to reevaluate our security measures. Additionally, you will not be permitted to return until your mission is complete. I can feel my face go pale. That's a hell of a first condition. Second, you will have someone accompany you as you travel, someone who knows the land and can help keep you safe. It is also important to me that your partner be experienced in combat. While you may have held your own back there, it was only through the skin of your teeth. As such, they will be tasked with furthering your training while you are gone. Crystal chimes in. Another perfect candidate. As do I, but I'm sure we're thinking of the same person. They both share another glance with each other and then chuckle. I'll get in contact with him today. Excellent. I go. And the third condition? Crystal, if you would. Certainly. Crystal walks over to a drawer to retrieve something before walking back to me. She hands me a small but heavy box. I look at Titania and she nods for me to open it. Upon doing so, my heart skips a beat. Inside lies a shiny metal collar, a collar I've seen before. Oh, this is the same kind of collar those men that attacked us were wearing. What is this exactly? Titania lowers her head slightly while giving me a striking gaze. For some reason, it feels like the atmosphere has suddenly changed. It's called an Arcadia collar. It allows the authorizer to track the movements of the one wearing it, no matter where they are in the world. They are rare but useful. However, there exist versions of the collar that have been modified for more nefarious purposes. The one you hold is a modified version made specifically by resin. It acts as a shock collar, a wiretap, and can even self-destruct. Rest assured, only you will have access to these features, sensing your axiom to it will grant you full control. If there is ever a moment you fear you may end up being captured, it's up to you to whether or not to use the collar to your advantage. I hope it doesn't come to that, but I want you to have an out if the need arises. This is a condition that is up to you, should you choose to accept this mission. I see. Knowing that, it makes sense people from Resum would wear them and keep them quiet. Indeed. You will be chained to this mission for half a year. Even then, you might not be successful. I don't doubt your abilities, but lodestars can become incredibly scarce in recent years. I am aware that 6 months is a long time. However, the risk of this mission is relatively low compared to most of my men on the front line. I will provide you plumes for living expenses, though I would like you to keep interactions to a minimum. There's danger lurking around every corner. Titania folds her hands together once more. Titania folds her hands together once more. With that being said, I'm surprised you aren't already familiar with Arcadia colors. What do you mean? The men you had an altercation with were likely members of the Fraxer, a military force made up mostly of Resum soldiers. As you might have guessed, their task force sent out to find pristine carriers and tasked to eliminate anyone that stands in the way of Resum's goals. The subject of pristine carriers is top secret. As such, members of the Fraxer are forced to wear Arcadia collars to keep them quiet or face death as a consequence. It's not limited to only them, however. Even people who work directly inside Resum wear them. Anyone who knows the truth, it seems. I see. That does make sense. I had never seen one before I was attacked. This must have come after Darius locked me away. I didn't see much of the outside of that room. Many of their uniforms tend to cover their neck. You likely never had a chance to see it, if that's the case. I think back to when I was captured by Clement. It's true, I couldn't see anything underneath the collar of his uniform. The men who attacked us didn't look to be in uniform, though. Perhaps Resum is becoming a little too big for their britches. Titania's expression changes to one of displeasure. However, that is not the issue at hand. I wasn't asking because of your history with Resum. I was asking because this is information Aaron should have relayed to you before ever going to such a shady establishment and go to Requiem of all places. I know Aaron and his team can handle their own, but he should have been more cautious, especially with you of all people. The situation could have been avoided entirely. I knew that report sounded off. It feels as if I've only been told half of the story. Aaron is usually more aware of his surroundings. He's always made good calls in the past. It's why I saw a leader in him. So why is it that Aaron didn't immediately remove you from the situation when he spotted those collars? I've always instructed everyone to avoid confrontation when possible. Shit, she doesn't know that Aaron left me alone after all. I freeze and she stares me down. Eventually she speaks up again. And that brings me to my last condition. Titania points her finger at me, specifically at my face. Fix your hair, or you'll be fired before you even had a chance to sit through orientation. What, my hair? Let me be more specific. Dye your hair. It doesn't matter what color any will do. Just do it immediately. You stand out like a sore thumb. You can only imagine my shock when you waltz in here. Hair is radiant as the day I first received reports about you. Titania closed her eyes and sighs. This is not a game. I don't need to tell you how foolish it was to wander in public without any forethought into your appearance. I should honestly reprimand you and your team, especially Aaron, for allowing this to go on for so long. Let this be your first warning, Sarge Cantrell. Danger is lurking around every corner. You should always be fully prepared for that. However, in light of the new information you presented today, I may let this slide. Aaron will not get off so lucky. I'll be arranging a meeting with him soon. I rely on him to present rescuees with any and all the information needed to protect themselves. This is just carelessness. And this brings into question his role as a leader. I suspect there was more to the situation that I'm not understanding. I can feel my heart beating fast. This feels like a parrot catches me in a lie. I haven't felt like this in a couple of centuries. Considering the information you've given us today, I feel like I can put some trust in you, so I ask you this. What happened on that day in Go to Requiem? What am I missing? I lower my head and say, it's best for me to not start my new position lying to my boss, I guess. I suddenly bring my eyes back up to face her. We were nearly done with our trip. It seemed like Aaron had received a notification from someone about some intel. He asked me to stay put because his informant is apparently very private. That's what he said anyway. I don't know what the intel was about. Shortly after he left me there, I was attacked. But he did manage to find me again. He helped me fight those me. Titania raises her hand as if to cut me off. That's enough, I understand now. Mostly. She taps her finger on her desk multiple times, looking lost in thought for a few moments. A break of silence. I'm sorry I didn't tell anyone this sooner. I guess I was afraid of getting Aaron into trouble. Don't be sorry, and give yourself more credit, Cyrus. You managed to fight off 2 soldiers on your own. You dismembered their leader. That's quite a feat for a rookie. You have a fairly impressive resume already, it seems. I wasn't so sure before, but maybe what happened to you was a blessing in disguise. After all this tension, she finally cracks a smile. I chuckled nervously. Well, I'm glad you could see it that way. I apologize. I didn't mean for it to sound rude. Aaron's actions were suspicious, if not foolish, but I don't believe he would betray us. No, there's something deeper going on here, but that isn't for you to worry about. I will get to the bottom of it myself. It should go without saying, but do not tell Aaron of this conversation. I have my own suspicions that I want to confirm first. You talking to him about this could jeopardize that. It kills me knowing that I might have to lie to Aaron. Yes, ma'am, of course. She relaxes her shoulders and leans back into her chair. At the end of the day, you both made it back safely. I'm happy you're okay. Just please be more careful in your future endeavors. I nod. I do apologize for getting a bit heated earlier. Please understand the resistance and our mission are very important to me. She gives me a soft and caring look, again like a parent. I nod in response. Now then, we should get back to business. I've laid out all my conditions for you. As stated earlier, you are to go on a mission for 6 months to carry lodestars along with dyeing your hair to avoid any more unnecessary trouble. Do you have any questions? I meet her question with silence. This is a lot to take in. Am I not used to that? Ever since I woke up in this hellscape, I've been dealing with all kinds of challenges. This is just another. I'm a bit nervous about leaving for that long. I won't be able to return home the whole time, is that right? That is correct. Until you gather the necessary resources, I don't want you to come back and potentially leave traces behind. Honestly, that's the hardest part. I feel like I've just gotten comfortable with my new life down here. Which you are more than welcome to continue living. These conditions are only if you accept the mission I've assigned to you. This would be a good opportunity for you to get familiar with the lay of the land. I know you're familiar with how it was used to be before the fall, but I think it would benefit you to travel. Took the words right out of my mouth. We could be the one to turn the tide of the century-long struggle. I wouldn't assign something so difficult for your first mission if I didn't think you were capable. In my line of business, I had to learn how to read people. It's a matter of survival at this point. I'm putting my faith in you. Looked down the box with the Arcadia collar in my lap. I smirked. What's 6 months to 300 years? With a deep breath, I opened the box before bringing the collar up to my neck. I fastened it closed. I accept these terms. Given that I have 2 weeks left to prepare, that will at least give me an opportunity to say goodbye to everyone. I do have another question, if you don't mind me asking. What is it? Earlier, we talked about your goals. You said taking down Resum was only part of it. May I ask what you meant by that? Is there something else you're after? She leans forward on her desk and places one hand over the other. I've already gathered you are someone I can trust, so I don't mind sharing a little about myself. It's only fair after all. However, if you ever leak any of this information outside the room, you are as good as dead. Of course I would never. Good. I do have my own personal vendetta. She takes a deep breath. My father was a pristine carrier and was held captive in Resum for over a century. I certainly wasn't expecting that. It was pure luck that he was able to make it out, but it's a clear sign that Resum's infrastructures are falling apart within these past decades. That's why we can continue to rescue more carriers to this day. Even inside Resum, there are people fighting. It's a very small handful, but it's something. You can only polish a piece of shit for so long before it starts to crumble. It pains me to say, but we lost contact with a few of those informants over the years, and can only pray they didn't meet a terrible fate. I carry that guilt with me every day, but this is one of the dangers we face while fighting Rezu. Titania furrows her brows. Of course, when my father tried to spread word, no one believed him. Rezu always maintains a proper image to the world as an organization for a mission to help people when they need help the most. It should come to no surprise they thought my father was crazy and just trying to seek attention. Why would they believe him? When Rezu caught wind of it, they tried to hunt him down. My father was always on the run. It took decades for him to build up enough connections to try to make a difference. He kept himself alive long enough to find a successor for his work, supposedly slowing the aging process until he did. That's when my mother came into the picture. She was another victim of Rezu's mechanisms, and one of the first few my father and his small rescue team managed to help escape. Like my father, she was also a pristine carrier. They were kindred spirits in a way. Over time they fell in love. My mother was the one that told me everything about my father and about pristine carriers. Wait, so if both your parents were pristine carriers, does that mean you're... Yes, I am also a pristine carrier. She places her hand gently on her chest. Unfortunately, my father passed away shortly after I was born. My mother was so kind and also proud. She always talked of my father with reverence. But she wasn't long for the world either. Many people who escaped aren't. I'm so sorry about your parents. It pains me to know someone else's family has suffered like mine. I think about my parents and Damien. I want to make sure a love story like that never has to happen again. That's my personal vendetta against Rezu. I do this for my parents and for everyone. When I was old enough, I took over the resistance from my father to continue his work. Titania extends her arm out. Ever since I was born, I've never left the underground. I told myself that I wouldn't leave until it was safe enough for people like my parents to work. Ever since I was born, I've never left the underground. I told myself that I wouldn't leave until it was safe enough for people like my parents to walk freely. As we stand now, we are in no position to present anything to the people. Without solid proof, no one will believe us. No one will believe the dark truth that Rezu sweeps under the rug. Titania folds her hands together and looks me dead in the eye. Cyrus, can I trust you to aid in our fight, to make sure that no matter what, no one has to live in fear of being used like fodder for the masses? I hold my right hand over my heart, the heart that Dr. Chow blessed me with. I swear it, if I don't personally take down Darius with my own two hands, I'll consider it a failure. I won't let you down, Commander. Titania smiles warmly. Oh my, someone's fired up. Crystal's accent beeps. Speak of the devil. Your partner has accepted the mission as well. Damn, you were right. Y'all don't waste any time. We don't have much to begin with. Every second is precious. Titania pulls her sleeve up slightly and looks down at the watch on her wrist. I apologize for cutting this short, but I do have another meeting to attend soon. Titania gets up from her chair before she offers me a hand. Welcome to the Resistance, Cyrus Cantwell. I'll be sending more information to your accent regarding the finer details of your mission. I give her a firm, respectable handshake. Understood, and thank you so much. I'll be heading out to prepare. I wish you luck. I start to head toward the door when I hear Crystal speak. I'll be over with dinner later tonight. Alright, hon? I look forward to it. Titania and Crystal share a brief but tender kiss. Love you. I can't help but blush. Shall we head off, Cyrus? Oh, yeah, let's. Crystal chuckles as he leaves Titania's side. Titania returns to her desk, preparing for her next meeting. As we head out, Crystal puts Titania's security door back on. She's quite efficient with her time. You don't know the half of it, she says warmly. We make our way into the elevator, heading back to the base. I can finally relax, but I have a knot in my stomach now thinking about Aaron. I feel guilty letting Titania know what happened, but if this is something personal, maybe it's for the best. Hopefully I can see him soon and find out. My thoughts are interrupted by Crystal chuckling. What are you laughing at? Sorry, don't mind me. It's just been a while since I've seen Titania get so riled up, even if it's just for a little bit. No one can blame her for taking her position so seriously, I suppose. Congratulations, Cyrus. You did more than wonderful. I smiled. The story about her parents, it resonated with me. It reminded me of my family. Oh? Darius gave me his word that he would give shelter to my mom and dad and to my boyfriend at the time. It was a lie, of course. They didn't have the qualifications to be saved. I never got a chance to say goodbye to them. So it seems you and Titania have something in common. I place a hand over my collar. It's a firm reminder that while wisdom still stands, I will never be free. I meant what I said. I'll make Darius pay. I think of my parents for a moment, and then Damien. Instead of feeling happy, I'm furious. Furious at how Darius had the chance to save them and didn't. I must be wearing my emotions on my face. Crystal decides to comment on it. There's the forest he saw. You're going to do great, I'm sure of it. I nod, looking at my face in the reflection of the elevator wall. I don't see the timid, weak man who was afraid of everything that could be lurking around the corner. I see myself smile confidently, ready to take the next thing that my long life throws at me. I'm less stunned at the man in front of me. The thing that's in front of me doesn't even look human, let alone alive. Presenting Darius Ismail Octavio in all his glory. A mechanical voice echoes out from the corpse-like body. That's enough. Back to your post. Dario bows. Of course, Your Majesty. I can hear Dario's footsteps as he walks away, but my eyes stay fixated on Darius. A chill runs down my spine as he finally addresses me. Welcome, Lance Quaker. Tell me, how has Cyrus Cantrell been? To be continued. Okay, so we got to see Darius, and he's barely alive, as you saw. I mean, immediately once he made Dario leave the room, the very first thing he wanted to talk about was Cyrus and how he was doing. So Cyrus is very much on Darius's mind right now. Cyrus is the first and the main thing that Darius is thinking. And I think eventually Cyrus will get caught. I think he's got to get caught by wisdom. He was lucky he survived the attack by King and his gang, but he probably won't be lucky the next time, and he'll probably get captured again by King as well as Cooper. I think that's what's going to happen. Both of them are going to capture Cyrus and take him to Resum. Now, I think Cyrus is going to go. I think Lance. Did I say Cooper? Well, I keep getting the names mixed up. But anyway, I think Lance is going to participate with King in capturing Cyrus. Now, Lance, he's very conflicted about what to do. He doesn't want to capture Cyrus, but at the same time, he wants to get out of Resum. So if capturing Cyrus means him getting out of Resum and not being controlled by them anymore, then that's what he'll end up doing. He'll just capture Cyrus. But if he does that, he'll be in a position where practically everybody will want to get their hands on him. Cyrus will want to get revenge on Lance, or at least try to get confrontational with him after he captures him. Erwin and Karen and Silver and Kanto and everybody else, they'll want to hunt after him. They'll want to hunt Lance down and get him. I mean, if he does succeed in capturing Cyrus and he gets freed from Resum, yes, he got Cyrus. He doesn't have Cyrus. Yes, he won't have on Resum, the company Resum, controlling him anymore, but instead he'll have new people to worry about. The resistance, they'll want to hunt him down and get him for trying to sell. They want to hunt him and punish him for giving Cyrus to Resum. Now, could Lance decide not to capture Cyrus? That's a possibility. He may participate with King, but may at the last minute decide to either not participate or he might decide to not capture Cyrus and instead try to escape Resum with Cyrus and maybe head back to the Resistance. Or if he captures Cyrus and takes him to Resum, he might come up with another plan to get himself in. He might try to get him. If Resum honors his agreement and let him go in exchange for them, and say for him capturing Cyrus, maybe once he gets released from Resum, Lance may try to come up with a plan himself with getting Cyrus out. But there's a lot of possibilities, mainly. I think next time at the end of the next update, I'll go over what I think about all the characters, because there's so much going on in this VN that I don't really have much time right now, but I'm just going to talk about this chapter. Titania, she's very dedicated to what she's trying to do. She knows Resum is an evil corporation built on deceit, but she realizes that people don't know that. Most people think it's a benevolent organization, and it has helped a lot of people, and that's a big hurdle that she and the resistance face in their goal of taking their Resum. The fact that most people still hold Resum in high regard as this benevolent healthcare company. So I think once more information about Resum comes out, the resistance will be able to use that to convince people that Resum is actually a bad organization, run by bad people, and that they've done bad things to people. So she's very dedicated and she's very determined to take down Resum, Titania is. And there was times when she was nice towards Cyrus, and then there were times when she was very serious towards Cyrus. And even to the point where she kind of threatened to have him dead if he revealed any information about her personal life. But anyway, she was real mad about Aaron and the fact that he did not, and the fact that he left Cyrus in Golden Requiem for so long while he was going to talk to an informant. And I think, in my opinion, that informant has something to do with the other human he was with. I forgot his name. But anyway, that other human that he met and fell in love with, who is probably in Resum right now, that person, that intel that he went to, probably has knowledge about that human and where he might be at and what's going on in Resum. That's what I think happened. I think that's the reason why everyone was gone for so long. And of course that contributed to Cyrus getting caught by King and his group. And Kanto, he's even more friendly now. I mean, I think he even apologized to Cyrus and asked him if he need anything, he could come to him. So the development between both Cyrus and Kanto has improved a whole lot. And I mean, if you get to know people more, your opinion of them can change. And that's what happened. Kanto originally thought of Cyrus as an annoying pest, but over time he's gotten to be more friendly to him and more trusting, to the point that he even talked about his relationship with Silver, and we got to see his side of the whole thing, and the fact that he's been accepting the fact that he's probably not going to be with Silver in a relationship because he thinks Silver doesn't want him for some reason, but it's not because of that. I mean, there's something between these two that's prevented their relationship from growing and improving. So he did tell Cyrus that he got jealous of Silver decided to stay in his room, but he got over it when he got over it. I forgot the reason he said why he got over it, but he got over it, and he understood more. So I hope those two can patch up their relationship Alright, so this was a big chapter here. We got to see Titania, and we learned that both C and Crystal or in a relationship. Both of them are in love. I don't know if they're married or not, but they're certainly in love. When Crystal called Titania Hun. So that was nice. So we also got to see Darius, and we saw Dario, his descendant, I guess his son, in chapter 15, and we saw just how ruthless he is and just brutal when he threatened to execute Lance if he was late for the meeting with Darius, and the fact that he let Lance and as well as King and the nurse and everybody know that he likes people who know where their place is. So yeah, he's a very brutal and power hungry man, and always selling his authority around, and the way Dario acts tells a lot about how Darius is as a person. So that's all I have to say for now. So there should be a new update coming out in November. I mean, in December, I guess. I guess December, maybe. I don't know, but it shouldn't be too long before an update comes out, because this update came out in back. It's been out for over a month now. This new update. So thank you all very much for watching. Bye.